Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 62 of my social isolation Get Ready With Me's. And for this week, I have a brand new palette, and it is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. This is also my first Natasha Denona palette. I've never picked up one of her palettes before because I've always said that they are way too expensive. And I still hold true to that. I think those larger pan palettes that are like 250 Canadian are obscenely priced. Like, that's just way too much money. This was around the $80 mark, which I feel better than $250. And honestly, I picked it up because the color story like really appealed to me. And I think this is one of the first ones where it's actually appealed to me completely. There's been a few palettes where I've been like, that's interesting, but is it interesting enough? So the reason I'm into this palette is obviously because there's that red shadow right in the middle, but also there's a mixture of like cooler tones and some warmer tones as well. Somebody did point out that this was very similar to the Tarte Unleashed palette, which I do own. So I want to pull it out to show you the difference. And I have to say, when I looked at these two side by side, I was like, okay, that is quite similar. So yeah, that's pretty similar, but I would say that this one obviously has more cool tones in it because the Unleashed palette really only has the turquoise and blue. So this one definitely has more to like blend that out with. But I do see the similarities for sure. Anyway, we're gonna be playing with the Zendo palette today, so let's dive right in. I do wanna play with as many colors in this palette as possible, so we're gonna be doing a halo eye with like the warmer tones on top and then the cooler tones on the bottom. And I hope it works out. I am very excited to announce the air conditioner is now on in the condo. Closed up all of the windows and the AC is blasting, and I am very happy that I am no longer sweating in this studio. It's been pretty hot in Toronto. I think the other day it got up to 31 degrees. And I was like, for May, that's a little bit too much. But I've been staying inside all day, every day recently because I think I mentioned this before, but the World of Warcraft pre-patch for Burning Crusade Classic launched on, well, it was supposed to launch on Tuesday. And then that was an absolute shit show. The servers were supposed to come back up at like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By midnight, they still weren't back up. So they had a lot of problems with some stuff, game code side. So no one was able to play that night. They apparently didn't come back up until 1 a.m. But there was a lot of pissed people around, that's for sure. I was so bored that night because I wanted to, get in there and play all the new stuff that I could get my hands on for pre-patch. But I was so bored that night because I couldn't get on that I ended up cleaning a lot of the apartment. I cleaned one or two bathrooms, cleaned the sunroom. The place has never looked better because I was bored. Okay, digging into the Zendo palette. I'm gonna start with Relief here, and we're gonna put that through my, ooh, these are dusty. I've never used her shadows before. And that is going through the, that is stiff. Okay. Do I need another brush? Hang on a second. Grabbing something a little bit fluffier. Okay, that's a bit better. So yeah, I spent the last week, well, since Wednesday really, going ham in game on the pre-patch, trying to help one of my friends level to cap. I realize there's going to be a lot of gamer talk, so for those who are completely confused about all this, I'll try to walk you through as best I can, but some of this is just not going to make sense. So with the pre-patch, they introduced new characters, or new races of characters and new classes, and my friend wants to be a shaman, and I said that I would help boost them to level 60, which is cap. And an average play time to get one of these characters to level 60 of like real in-person days is between, I'm gonna say 8 days, 8 full 24-hour periods of days played. We knew it was gonna be shortened because the experience required to get to cap was being reduced for the next expansion, but we weren't sure how fast we were gonna be able to do it. Because we ended up doing it like dungeon grinding and tap leveling and all that kind of stuff. In the end, he hit 60 this morning. It's a holiday Monday here in Canada. At 3 days and 45 minutes played. So not only was obviously the experience to get to cap shortened, but we also busted ass getting through that. Like, it was long work hour days getting that character up there. But that's done, and I'm glad about that because my goal was to get him to cap within a week, and we've like done that. Okay, because I am going to be doing a halo eye, I want this color to come more into this area here. which I don't normally do, and honestly I probably should more, because sometimes when I take pictures of my eye for like, you know, the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff, I can see that I'm not putting enough shadow in this area. There's a bit of a gap, so I need to learn to bring it in more. Oh, you know what's nice about this palette too? There's no brow bone highlight shade. I like that. There's too many like my skin tone bone type colors and palettes, and we just don't need them anymore. Okay, the next color I'm gonna take here is the red called Vigor. And I'm putting that on the outer corner and inner corner. Oh, that's a nice red. I think a bit brighter than I expected, but really pretty. So yeah, it's a holiday Monday here in Canada right now. Okay, I'm gonna tap this along the top here. There we go. Which is a nice 3-day weekend. But going back to work tomorrow, I have this presentation that I'm really not looking forward to doing. I'm not a shy person, okay? I'm quite social, I'm loud, I'm not shy, but I can't stand public speaking. Can't stand it. I stutter over my words, I forget what I'm saying, no matter how much I practice or do something over and over again, it makes me nervous. And tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon rather, I have to introduce somebody who's going to be doing a presentation for us. And I don't even have to talk for that long, okay? At most, it's going to be like 3 minutes, but it's still like a group of probably about 200 people. And I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it at all. I have to keep reminding myself that, you know, by this time tomorrow, because it's happening on Tuesday, it's all going to be over with, and it's not going to mean anything, and blah, blah, blah. But oh my goodness, I do not look forward to that kind of stuff at all. Ugh. It's so funny. There's so few things that make me nervous. But public speaking, even if it's a topic that I'm very comfortable discussing and that I know pretty much everything about, I still get friggin' nervous, and I don't know why. I just, ugh. Bleh. Okay, so we've got the start of the halo eye here. I want to use 2 different colors for this because there's some really neat shimmers in this palette, and honestly I was kind of struggling on what to use. This one up here is gorgeous. What's it called? Luster? This is way more orange than I was anticipating. Look at that. They're, oh, so pretty. Aura over here, also stunning. Am I tilting these enough? Look at those colors. Like, they're way more impressive on the fingers than they are in the pan. And then this one down here surprised the heck out of me. It's called Yama. And it's got this, it's that top, ooh, how do I, that one there. It's got like this gold orange reflect to it. They're stunning. So I want to use Yama at the center of the eye, but I think I want to use a little bit more of a transition color in. Maybe Tranquil? Yeah, let's start with Tranquil. So I'm taking Tranquil and I'm putting it around the edges here. I don't want to put it quite in the center gap there because that's where I want the Yama color to go. Okay, got that on, and then I'm going into Yama with a really tiny brush. I'm putting that on the center of the eye. It's pretty, but I think it might work better wet. Let's see. Yep, wet's a little bit better. It's so funny, this color is like gold, but also like pink hints to it too. Okay, I'm just gonna do my brow bone while we're here. Wet n Wild Brulee eyeshadow. I think last week I mentioned that I thought I'd lost it. I searched all over my makeup area, and then finally I had this like thought that I should check in the garbage bin. Sure enough, it was in the garbage bin and had accidentally fallen in there, and I was like, oh, I found you. Okay, moving on to the lower lash line, I'm going to take Mantra here and put that on the outer corner, as well as the inner corner. And then below that, I'm going to take Breath right here and use that on the edges. And I'm going to sweep that, I'm going to pull my eye down to show you this, sweep all along this edge right there. So I'm still leaving a little blank spot right there. And if I bring it too low, it's not too big of a deal because I can put my foundation like over top of that area right there, which to me looks like it's coming down a little too far. This kind of aqua minty green is actually quite pigmented. Usually these kinds of colors tend to be fairly see-through, but this is coming across quite well. I'm looking at this on camera and I'm not really liking how it's looking, but I'm trying to trust the process because I've done something similar with this kind of color and it did turn out. These aren't quite the same colors though. Okay, and then for the gap that I've left in the middle, I'm going to take Flow over here. This is a wet pencil brush. And I'm just gonna put it right in the middle. For the waterline, I think this one's gonna work. It's the NYX Off Tropic Pro Liner in the shade. I think this one's So Fresh, but they're, yeah, hard to see on here, but it is called So Fresh. I didn't really have any like darker green colors, so this is what I'm stuck with. There's no other really brighter colors in here to use for an inner corner highlight for me anyway. So I'm going to reach into the palette that I'm going to be using for my blush, bronzer, and highlighter, which is the Too Faced Sweet Peach Glow palette. And I'm going to take that highlighter right there and put that on the inner corner. Just put it right there. Okay, now to me this looks not great, but I'm pretty sure that if I put on mascara, false lashes, and some liner, it's gonna look okay. So I'm gonna do that and I will be right back. Okay, I think that looks better with the lashes on. I did some liquid liner, but I didn't wing it out because I don't want the wing to like be the thing that sticks out about this look. And I had a heck of a fight with this lash to get it to stay on. All right, moving on to foundation. I'm gonna be sticking with my favorites, the Boots No. 7 Instant Radiance Foundation in Cool Ivory and Warm Vanilla. Is that right? Oh, I've been mixing the wrong colors. I've just noticed. I'm mixing Warm Ivory and Cool Ivory. Huh, interesting. I used to do it with Cool Vanilla, I think it was. So I'm very excited because my vaccine shot is on Wednesday of this week. That'll be the first shot I'm getting. The follow-up isn't until like September. In Canada, they're doing really long timelines to get the second one done, which I'm not keen on, but at least I'll be getting the first one, so I'm very happy about that. Been a long time coming. I don't know when things will start to actually return to normal after this though, because what do we need? Herd immunity before things can return to normal? And what's herd immunity? Like 80% of the population having it? Or is it only 50? I don't know. I hear conflicting numbers, and because I don't watch the news, I don't have a very good idea of what's going on. I also can't stand talking about COVID too much. I feel like, I know I bring it up a lot on these chats because it's pretty much the only time I talk about it, I feel like. Because if family members or friends want to discuss it, I get so angry and so annoyed about the current situation that I just don't want to discuss it because it just makes me angrier. So I usually have to tell people like, you know, I don't want to discuss this. Which people are generally quite good about, but because it's the only thing that everybody has in common and it's the biggest thing in all of our lives right now, it's the one thing that everybody wants to talk about. But after a year and a half, like I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't care, which isn't quite accurate. I mean, I do care, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to keep having the same conversation over and over again with different people about when stuff is going to go back to normal, who's getting their shot when, who's getting which type of shot. I can't even believe that we're discussing who is putting out the vaccine that we're getting. Like, it's just such a weird thing. Like, I have no idea who I got the MMR vaccine from. Not a clue. No freaking idea. And yet, oh, is it Pfizer? Is it Moderna? Is it AstraZeneca? It's like, really? These are the discussions that we're having these days? Ugh. Okay, foundation is on. Still quite dewy because it is a radiant foundation, so that dewiness never fully, completely goes away, which is nice because I think it makes the skin look a little bit more natural, normal looking. That being said, any dewy foundation, and I don't know if this is true across the board, but I feel like any dewy foundation will never last as long as a matte foundation will, just because by virtue it's got more oil in it. I mean, I can't say that for certainty that there is oil in this product, but there is some sort of dewiness that, you know, doesn't set the same way that a flat matte foundation will, and therefore, you know, as you get dewy throughout the day too, it just amps up the dewiness, but I'm okay with that. And in fact, I like that better. Okay, for bronzer, blush, and highlight, I'm going to be using my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, Sweet Peach Glow palette. I've always thought it's so funny that the bronzer is so tiny in here and the blush is so big, but I get it, it's for aesthetic purposes. You know, I was looking recently and I feel like Too Faced has discontinued a lot of their products recently. A lot of them are quite hard to find on Sephora's website, and I think they have a few things still on like Too Faced's own website, but there's not nearly as much as there used to be. Like, do they even sell the chocolate bar palette anymore? I'm not sure. I think a lot of brands have just stopped pumping out as much product as they used to because there's really no point. I would love to see the numbers on the makeup industry. I know it's still booming, but like in comparison to like before COVID, what are the numbers like? It's got to be down. There's no way that people are buying as much as they used to right now. And going in with the blush. I wasn't really sure like how to match the blush to the eyes because it's warm on top and then cool on the bottom, so I'm guessing this sort of peachiness one works. Okay, face was super fast. I'm gonna add some brows and then we'll finish off with the lips in a second. Okay, so for lips, I'm gonna go with something nude because honestly, I have no idea what else to do for this kind of eye combo. So I'm using the Too Faced, it's called Peach Kiss, something like that, lipstick in the shade Disrobed, which I'm hoping has enough peachiness to sort of go with the top of the eyes, but not be too overpowering. That could have a little bit more fire in it, some more red. Okay, let me go find something else and I'll be right back. Okay, I grabbed another Too Faced Peach Kiss lipstick. This one's in the shade Chill Pill. So I'm gonna mix the two together because I don't wanna make it this color, but this is a little bit too peach, I think. I'm just gonna dab a little bit of this on. Yeah, I think that combo was better. I mean, this is a mess. I'm gonna clean it up with the lip brush in a second. But I'm just getting an idea of the color. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, those two colors definitely worked out a lot better together. Cause yeah, looking at this is too burnt orange / red, and then this one's ended up being a little bit too pale, but together, perfect combo. All right, so that is the finished look with the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. It came together. Thankfully, the lashes and the liner really kind of brought that look together because for a while, like, I don't know. I like the overall look when it's finished with a warm on top and cool on the bottom, but when you're building it, it looks so freaking weird on the eyes. As for this palette, I like the shades. I'm impressed with the colors in here. The duochromes, are kind of hidden, I feel like. Like this one over here, gorgeous duochrome. These ones over here as well, like they're way prettier swatched out than they are just sitting in the pan. I did find the powders to be quite powdery. I don't have an issue with that. I know a lot of people say that they do or don't. I just wanted to put it out there. I don't really care. They are quite pigmented. Do I feel like these are excellent shadows? Yes. Do I feel like they necessarily warrant a higher price point than anything else out on the market? No, not really. I did enjoy this palette though, and if she does continue to put out color combinations that I'm interested in, I will for sure pick them up. I am curious to play with this a little bit more though. I think there's some good combinations that I could probably do. I think in the future I would probably stick to more like either just the cool tones or just the warm tones because that's generally how I prefer to do my eyeshadows looks, but I wanted to try something that was gonna show you some of the range on this palette, I guess, and I think I achieved that because you get to see both sides of the palette. So I'm gonna leave you there. Thank you so much for joining me for week 62. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.